we really just want to be a New Blood game. I'm like, man, like, a few years ago or 10 years ago, I'd love to do that, but like, we're not a publisher, and I don't want to spread ourselves too thin. Like I said, a New Blood game can only ever be a New Blood game because it could have only ever been a New Blood game. It's got to fit, but more importantly, like what I would have used to look for would have been like the game. Like, wow, this game's really cool. I think it'll really fit really well in our portfolio. But now it's like it's the people, that I really want to work with this guy or these people. Like they're really fun to work with. I think they could do other stuff. Like when we brought on Fallen Aces, it wasn't so much that we wanted to work on this cool comic book gangster game. I mean, we did, but it was also we wanted Trey. We wanted Trey to come in and work on do 2D art for Gloomwood and stuff. And now he does that as well as working on Fallen Aces, and like, so we've always, it's people more than the games. So like I really want to work with cool people. So like when we did Hyper Strange, it's not just like, oh, Blood West is a good addition to our portfolio. It is, and it makes a lot of sense, and people now just assume it was always a New Blood game, which is fine by me. But it's like I've known Millie for a long time, and he's always wanted to work with me and work with us, and we've always gotten along really well. And those guys work super hard. I'm super hands off on Blood West. I'm like, how's the patch going, guys? They're like, yeah, good, testing. It'll be ready for you to test soon. I'm like, sick, done. We have calls like once a week, and in Poland's the opposite from me. So right now it's 10:30 in the morning. In Poland, it's 10:30 at night. It's like, cool, like I'll be getting ready to go to bed, and I'll be like, hey Dave, you ready for the meeting? And it's like, oh, that's right, I gotta do a fucking Blood meeting. It's midnight, but it's noon in Poland. That's just it's just kind of that's my life, right? Or like, with Tenebra Somnia, like it wasn't like, oh, this game looks sick, it's got live action cutscenes, I think it'll sell really well. Like obviously that's true, but like, I mean, we don't give a shit about sales at this point. Everything we do will do well enough because we're popular and we make good shit and we've got a reputation and we hate money. But it's like I've known Tobias and Andres for like, years at this point, and they've always wanted to do something together. And, it was kind of like when they started making the game, they kind of always thought about me and New Blood. It's like it could have only ever been a New Blood game. It was like it was ordained, and like, also it's like it's an excuse to go hang out in Argentina. It's like when we're doing like all the shit that we do, it's like just an excuse to do fun shit. It's like, why are you doing Faith in Japan? I'm like, because we have to go to Tokyo Game Show. Like we have to go hang out in Japan. Like
also it feels cool.
It's cool. We have to be big in Japan. They had Faith playable at the fucking main square in Tokyo, like the big cross section.
God damn,
they had that 24/7 camera. And HappyNet had like a game thing set up on the side, and like you could play Faith there. I'm like, that's so cool. I didn't want to weeb out or anything, but like that's pretty.
That is so cool.
To do shit. Japan is one of those places where it like actually lives up to the reputation.
Yeah.
Where you go, it's like, oh, fucking soy jacking. It's like, it actually is this cool. I don't want to leave. Oh my god, the trains actually do run on time. Holy shit. I mean, I'm from New York City, so like, oh my god. The trains are clean. They run on time. This is fucking nuts. Unbelievable. But it's like, it's what gets the balls thing. Like, it used to, obviously there was a time when we were like, if we don't sell some games, we're not going to be in business. But I always said, like, if we can't do things like our way, like, I'd rather not be in business. I don't ever want to fucking sell out. I'm an old school punk rock guy. I won't be a fucking sellout. Well, it's like I could always move back with my mama and sell cars, even at 40. Like, I could always go work at a used car lot in Long Island and live in my mom's basement. She'd be more than happy to have me.
There you go.
So nowadays with New Blood, it's like, for the love of the game. We're doing stuff because it's what our players want, what we want to do, what gets the balls tingling, what lets us, go hang out in Argentina, go hang out in Japan, get these new like fan bases or whatever. People, we love like going places and like signing posters for people and taking pictures and whatever, and hanging out with a bunch of sweaty motherfuckers coughing on us and getting COVID and whatever, what happened. I actually haven't had COVID in a while.
Shout out to no COVID.
We reached herd immunity or whatever.
Okay, so Rafael Colantonio, of course, for those of you who don't know, guy behind all the arcane games that we've loved for quite a while, Prey, Dishonored, Arx Fatalis, etc., Undo, etc. And he asks, Mr. Dave, what engine was the Gloomwood built in?
Unity.
Yeah. because he was thinking it was intentionally meant to capture the jankiness of the Dark engine. Like he was, yeah. So that was his.
Yeah, most of our games, it's like it's beating Unity or Unreal into submission to make it look and feel old. It's or it's a pain in the ass. But like, yeah, no, we don't want to actually use those old engines for modern games because it makes it very hard to do things like performance and everything. Every once in a while, you'll get one like you'll the GZ Doom stuff and Build Engine, stuff like Ion Fury and shit like that.
Yeah, the Wrath I heard was a nightmare to make.
What?
I heard Wrath, Aeon of Ruin was a nightmare to make in the...
that was, at the time, they were like, yeah, we're doing a Quake Engine game. I'm like, are you sure you want to do that? You make it in Unity and look and feel like a Quake Engine game, but they got it done. But yeah, so the answer is Unity.
Nice. All right, and then for the upcoming guest will be someone from Fulcrum Publishing, which if you don't know who that is or need to be refreshed, they're doing stuff like, I think they published Diluvian Ultra, Forgive Me Father 2, Hyperviolence.
Forgive Me Father.
And that Stygian Outer Gods thing
Actually,
just came out.
Every boomer shooter has been pitched to New Blood at some point.
Yeah, I should say that they haven't confirmed attendance, so it is very likely to be a representative or developer from Fulcrum and Stygian Outer Gods, but they haven't got back finalizing it.
They're doing they do the Lovecraft sale as well on Steam, and we're participating in that. So we're releasing the Gloomwood research update, which will be very cool. The doctor will get to go do his fucking freaky research experiments and transform into different monsters, which will be pretty cool. Getting your Frankenstein on, and we're also doing the Blood West update, and we're also trying to do a Dusk update finally for another SDK update, adding some cool stuff for the Lovecraft sale. And hopefully at some point finish the comic, which is now 400 pages long. Yeah, the Dusk graphic novel is literally 400 pages long. Jacob's just kind of a crazy person. We've just kind of been letting him
definitely be getting my hands on that. I just recently got into comics over the last
point, I think we want to do like a hardcover.
I was just gonna say, do a hardcover, please.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been talking to Lost and Cult about doing it. It's very long. We might try to cut it down. It's like it's just kind of these insane scribbles at this point, but it's very cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm buying one.
So in terms of what Medium was saying for the next one,
ask a question to the Fulcrum guys.
Exactly. Yeah, their game that they're bringing out is Stygian Outer Gods. So it is a Lovecraftian game. So is there anything Lovecraft related that you want to ask them?
I was gonna say, let me think. Okay, which Lovecraftian entity is your favorite, and why? And which one fits the best in your games? We chose ours for the Faceless God, for who's kind of been a presence in all of our games now. If you ever see anything green in our games, it's kind of like we're kind of doing like a New Blood connected universe, and always
theorized about that. Theorized about that.
I got a question about that afterwards. Yeah, I got a question.
And always voiced by Stephen Wade as well. We always have.
Oh my God! Yes, yeah.
Do the voice, and that indicates that is that entity. Pray that you never meet me in my 1,000 other forms. He's got one in every of our games. Yeah.
In the burning questions round, the initial question wasn't a wrestling question. It was, when is the New Blood connected universe coming out? Because
we go ahead.
I said I looked at your games and I was like, why don't New Blood do sequels to expand upon the lore? Because all the games are really lore heavy. And then I thought maybe they're making a connected universe instead, and this is how it's all going to tie in.
It is all connected. Yeah, I mean, even if it's not originally, we just add little Easter eggs and stuff. Like even in Faith, there's the cabin you can get to with a note from Jacob, and hey, from cult leader to cult leader, from Gary and Jacob, we're talking. And everything kind of takes place in Lovecraft country, which is kind of like the American Northeast, kind of like that Pennsylvania, Connecticut backwoods, area where anything could fucking happen out in the woods.